welcome to Rad On The Web, the website review show that looks at the greatest websites and the people behind them. Today we're looking at pixiemix.com. I'm in front of some weird buildings.
I'm Randy Leano, I'm part designer as well, and I help out with website design for PixieMix.
Cool.
And as far as the marketing stuff too.
All right.
I'm Kyle Hoyt. I do the art. I come up with the characters and do the comics and product design.
Cool.
I'm Garth, and I do the technical things, and I schmooze with people and go to shows.
Oh
Nice.
yeah, smoozing, yeah, that's it.
He's number one schmoozer for the company. So what is the company?
It's really about, I think we started as a t-shirt company. We just wanted to do t-shirts, kind of stuff we'd want to wear. We're wearing them now. Kind of stuff with,
plug.
but to have t-shirts with attitude, but also very designerly, cool graphics, and kind of my interest in characters and character design and animation. It kind of came out of that, and I just started drawing cool characters and coming up with themes. And we're both graphic designers, so kind of fell into that branding kind of gap where it's the fusion of characters and branding and that attitude and bringing kind of a high-end character goods. How
did each of you get involved in the company, and maybe like the whole where you met kind of thing, basic stuff?
I met Kyle through when we were working together at Booster Design. It's a design firm, small boutique design firm in Emeryville.
Okay.
And
across the street from Pixar.
Yeah, across the street from Pixar, believe it or not. So zip was over. No, it was interesting because I had the privilege to work with Kyle, and I remember always every day I would see him in his book, drawing, googling, and doodling all over. Every single day, it never fails. And one day, sat down. Hey, he had some really good characters in his books even, and some of the stuff I was just cracking up as I even just looking at. And there wasn't even any dialogue like Pixie Pets per se. It was like, wow, this is actually really cool. It's like, and then we both really wanted to start something, and so it's like, hey, he had his talent, and we had our design background, so why not try to put something together? And
yeah, we were working in the same office and working on projects and like on our downtime. So they said, my sketchbook.
Was there a lot of downtime, or?
Not really. I mean, we kept pretty busy. But, it's just being creative.
Yeah,
creative people. It's just ideas are going to fly, and I think this culture, like with San Francisco, as well, like with Gamago and that kind of stuff. Yeah, you're representing right there. So we knew about that and the whole character scene that kind of grown up out of that, like Paul Frank and things like that. So we were kind of like, hey, we have the talent to do this. We're gonna kind of jump in, get our feet wet, and see how hard could it be.
Yeah.
So
we needed another person to fill in, and that's where Garth comes in.
There he is.
Yeah, so they
luckily met Kyle one way back. I don't know where.
They basically bought me lunch.
That's a cheap date.
They said, "Look, we're going to get you lunch, and we want to pitch you on this company idea." And it sounded interesting to me. I was looking for something I could do sort of creatively. I mean, I don't assist on any of the art, but I still feel like I kind of participate and I get to be involved with the process. And I like all this stuff too. Like I really enjoy it. And I worked with Kyle at a web company way back in the day, and had a similar experience. Just I noticed him drawing constantly, and on whiteboards, and so and the other thing that we had in common is we had a Neo Geo cabinet.
Awesome.
So we were always settling office disputes. With Bubble Bobble.
I think we all like the same things in regards to Japanese culture, all these characters.
Well, that was going to be my question. I was going to say, like, obviously this is inspired by the little characters that are created in Japan. Like what's the actual name for them when they're like there's a Japanese name for it. That's going to bother me now. It's showing up on the lower third right now. I don't know what it's called. I don't know. But you're obviously inspired by that kind of thing, the Japanese characters.
Yeah, well, I think we all grew up with it, and Randy, you grew up in the Philippines with it.
Yeah, hey, I grew up with those back in the days of those old OG mechs, you know what I'm talking about? I'm talking about Lotus 5 and Mazinger Z, all that stuff. So I was always, as a kid, I would rush, 6:00 p.m. Rush down. Don't even forget about dinner. Just watch straight TV.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah, you got a little more pure. I think I grew up on the I grew up on the butchered stuff, Robotech.
Oh yeah, and like Voltron. I mean,
Yeah.
like
Oh,
it was still awesome to me though. I mean,
Yeah.
seriously,
Well, it was a
Voltron's pretty-
gateway. I think
I think
that was I got the Robotech art book, and in the back, that's when I first learned about Miyazaki.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
like-
exactly.
There's this little thing in the back, and it's talking about Cagliostro, and it's like Roadrunner meets an heist film and stuff. And I was like, I gotta check this out.
And what do you have a favorite character that you draw, or favorite series now, or right now that you're working on, or?
Yeah, I would say. I mean, this go back to Aptly Rotten. I think she actually predated Pixie Mix.
Yes, she
I think
did.
she's the
Ah.
kind of one that told me that like the first character, one of the scribbles I got that like had legs, and before this I did animations and comics on my own, and they're just kind of one-offs and stuff. So it's like art and story and things like that, and things I'm interested in. Like, oh, I can do animation and tell a story. But like this one, when I did it, was sort of like, well, this is kind of hitting the vein of there's a story here, but I can do the kind of Hello Kitty take on it. I can see this becoming a product. I can see this becoming a family of characters. See where we can go with this. And that was a few months before we started Pixie Mix. So for me, she's still like the first child.
Okay.
And like Randy said, she's kind of evolved. Whereas the other ones were very much, I think, like designed, where we
Yeah,
kind
very
of
highly
approached them with a kind of mindset of like, we want to do something that's like, urban, or like that's the Kaboom Brothers is very urban. It's for guys, so we can kind of know the audience for it. And then like Pixie Pets wanted to do something where it could be kid friendly, it could be boys, girls.
So you're creating brands within the brand.
Yeah.
The brand is Pixie Pet, but you're creating almost like separate
Yeah.
avenues of each
So
one.
it was very conscious. We're thinking of like kind of audiences who shows up at our show, and like, well, I think like you'll see what they've got and the kind of products they've got and that they're carrying around and what they're talking to you about, and so that kind of informed like, oh, we can do something and kind of riff on that.
I mean, he really. I mean, I would say we're small. We've been around for a couple of years now.
I was going to ask what was the beginning date?
2004. And that was a very. It was a learning experience for all of us, from a business standpoint, from marketing standpoint, from product development standpoint, from everything. It was a great education for all of us. And I think we're still learning every day. And
we're still very much DIY.
Yeah, we're still very.
We look at all these products. A lot of them are made like in our apartment.
Yeah, I was just going to ask. That was my next question. You guys are perfect segue, by the way. Perfect segue. Yeah, where does all this get made, and all this gets made here? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
Do you
And
do
I
it?
think,
You don't go out anywhere for any of it?
It depends. Like the books are printed on demand. Like we do it through Lulu.
Okay.
I think there's a lot of companies like Blurb and that kind of stuff. It's a place where you can get your books made. So that is actually made off-site. I mean, we design them and then we just send them. But like things
But these
like,
guys are made here?
That's
Oh,
made here,
yes.
and I have to mention the fourth member, who's the
She's
side
not
member,
here,
is
Catherine.
my wife, Kat. She's a great artist as well. She's an animator, and so
You don't tell people that you're married, right? Because then
It's called ruining the illusion. I know. You're perpetual single on video right now.
yeah, I don't think people. Hopefully, I want people to fall in love with the characters, not with us.
Yeah.
I was like, all the characters are available, and we'll go home with you.
you can adopt them.
Kat is an amazing artist as well. She does her own comics and animation, and she's really great at I'm really great at doing the 2D stuff, storytelling, comics, things like that. But she has an eye for like taking any kind of 2D art and like creating it in the round.
The
stuff,
three-dimensional sphere.
Yeah, and she's done other ones. She's done sculpts, which we don't have here, where she's kind of taken them and just like, and she does that kind of hack, like the kid robot kind of stuff, where you take a money or whatever and just kind of like put Sculpey on it. And then,
So I love Dunnies. You guys love Dunnies, right?
yeah,
Awesome. All those blow-up dolls did this awesome thing. You ever had a blow-up doll? I know that sounds terrible. Did I just say that on camera? Have you ever had a blow-up doll? Did I really say that on camera? And I even haven't been drinking. No, the blow-up dolls is a type of Dunny, and they were just amazing. But would you ever go into that realm of if you could manufacture it? I mean, I think that would be awesome.
No, that's something we've toyed around with, and I think it comes down to the money issue there, where like the DIY thing, we've actually made prototype toys and stuff. Like I've made the Kaboom Brothers there actually locked away in a cabinet. We have a Sculpey version of them. The toys are definitely a labor of love.
It almost killed Kyle.
Yeah, it did.
Tell us the true story about this.
I think like we know a number of people who do toys,
Yeah.
and it's one of those prestige things. It's great. Everybody wants to make the toy, and it's kind of like then you have this like room full of toys that you're selling forever.
So let's go real quick back to summarize on the site. The site has web comics,
Yep.
and then it has a store. So what are all the things that you offer at Pixie Mix? Like what's the gamut of the different ways you can get these characters?
And I think like as I was started with the T-shirts. That was where it all came from. And
Which, by the way, I need to get one of those.
yeah, they're available on our.
No,
You gotta buy it.
that's not exactly what I meant. But all right.
didn't
I love
have
what a great salesman. They're available on our T-shirt for $14.99.
We need to go over the negotiations process.
Yeah, we'll have to do that after the show.
Yeah, but I think that's where when we talk about what was available, that's where it started. We
Right.
we had the T-shirts, and through Garth, kind of like he built the whole back end, like built a whole e-commerce. It's all custom built, so we can kind of we have the freedom to do whatever we want with it. And at that time, like that's where I went to stores with the T-shirts and everything. And then since we actually had the characters, the comics came next, and we kind of plugged those into the site. And from there, it just kind of grew. I mean, once we had the comics, that lent itself to the art and toys. We make buttons.
Which I have
accessories, yeah.
quite a few of those out there.
Master
Awesome.
button makers right here.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have to say, like, the thing that I really enjoy that we don't do enough of is things like what we did at the Double Punch show. So we had a show, a couple of years ago where Double Punch invited us. Local toy store invited us to come do an art show there. Basically, we would be selling some of these products, but mostly like things up on the wall, prints of what we had done, and we didn't have a lot of prints. And we had these books, and we had buttons and T-shirts. We printed on T-shirts, but nothing that was in a frame that we could put up and show. And so we took some of the existing art we had, and Kyle just put some things together, stylized it, and came up with what I thought were some really great, montages of characters and just positions and things that were I thought really artful. And it sort of reminds me in a way of like what Hello Kitty did. To speak of Hello Kitty, sort of in the later years where they're like branched out of it just being like the cat and in the same form all the time. There's sort of extremely stylized versions of the cat.
Yeah, it's surprising. The events, I think the events are one of our, that's one of the main things that we do outside of the website. We grew out of the website, but then we thought we were going to be primarily e-commerce. Yeah. That was in our naive thing. We came out of web design, so everything's going to just be through the web, and that's where we're going to interface with our customers, and this is where we're going to meet people, and everything's going to be facilitated through that. It's going to all our selling and stuff, and then we just kind of went into one of these events. WonderCon was the first event we did, and I'd gone there for years. Like that, and it's like, well, we could just get a table there. And I was like, I'll lark. We'll just let's get there. It'll be fun. And the experience of being there and actually interfacing one-on-one with people, and seeing people come to your table who haven't heard of you, and then the reaction they get, and sort of being in a conversation and really connecting with people, I think is really great. And you can't. That's informed not only what we do, but I think it's something that keeps us inspired. Because if it was in a vacuum and it was just a website, it's kind of your customers.
You got to see them. They got to be in front of you, and it makes a difference.
I mean, yeah, because things you don't even expect. You think you're targeting a certain type of person, someone you think, they're not going to be interested, and they just fall in love with it.
Yeah, and that's what's funny is that you guys were thinking online, and then oh wow, let's go back old school and go actually meet the people, and that's actually where you get to find out.
Yeah, and it all comes back around because that was 5 years ago, and then the whole social media thing hit. And so now the web isn't this kind of bubble you're in. It's it's become social.
It's a shared bubble.
Yeah.
Well, I'm gonna say thanks, guys.
Thank you, Carl.
Thanks for the interview, and I'm gonna get out my wallet now so that I can buy a T-shirt because that's how they roll. All right.
Thank you.
See ya.
All right.
Thanks.
So check it out, pixiemix.com. Go to their website. They're super cool people. They have tons of things that you'll want to buy in their store, I'm telling you. But then not just that, their webcomics are awesome, aptly run, super cool, tons of stuff. Check them out. If you have a website you want us to talk about on the show, just tweet at us at Rad On The Web. That's what I gotta do. Maybe I'll go investigate for you and ask them the hard questions. Find out the scoop.